From the spine-chilling footage of a lone hiker being hunted through the darkness by an unknown creature, to the haunting enigma of the headless woman in India, and even the bone-tingling trail camera shots revealing what truly lurks in the forest at night. These are some of the most unsettling moments ever captured on camera. This guy went out exploring the woods just for the thrill, but it quickly turned into the worst mistake of his life. This 13-minute video, titled "The Shadow Trail," was posted on a YouTube channel, and what it captures is nothing short of chilling. It follows a lone hiker venturing into the woods at night, his flashlight cutting through the darkness, when strange and unsettling things begin to happen. At first, it was just the faint crack of twigs snapping somewhere nearby, but the more he walked, the more it felt like something was shadowing him, keeping pace just out of sight. The eerie sounds made him paranoid, and eventually, he decided to take a different path. Yet even after changing course, the same snapping of twigs echoed around him. Then things got even stranger. He spotted a shadowy figure moving in the distance. With each glimpse, the paranoia grew, and the noises became louder, closer, and far more real. Whatever it was, it seemed to be keeping pace with him, stalking him through the dense, pitch-black woods.
Oh, that. Alright guys, we gotta go. Okay. I think I'm gonna be leaving here.
That's when the hiker decided enough was enough. It was time to leave. But just as he started heading back, he saw it again. This time much closer and moving toward him. In the footage, you can hear something chasing him as he runs desperately to get out of the forest.
What the
The video ends there, but the questions don't. What was that thing? A Bigfoot? Something worse? Some say the whole thing is staged. A friend in the shadows, playing the role of the chaser. But others, like me, can't ignore how real the forest sounds, the wood breaks, and the sheer tension felt. What do you think? Real or fake? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I love trail cameras. They reveal hidden parts of forests most can't reach. But sometimes, they capture things we weren't meant to see. The photo you're about to see was uploaded on a Facebook page called Witching Hour Investigations back on November 22nd, 2023. It didn't go viral or grab much attention at the time, but what it reveals is enough to send chills down anyone's spine. This eerie figure was captured lurking by a trail camera hidden deep in the Missouri woods. What you're looking at is something unlike anything we've seen before, or maybe it's something we've all been misidentifying. To me, it looks like a massive humanoid creature, but the internet has some very different theories. Some say it's just a deer caught mid-motion, but the more unsettling explanation is that it could be the infamous Wendigo. Wendigos are malevolent spirits, or creatures from Algonquian folklore, evil entities said to haunt the forests. And this isn't the first time something like this has been caught on camera. On May 21st, 2022, a trail camera outside a farmhouse in North Texas snapped a similar figure lurking in the night around 1 a.m. That creature, like this one, has the same humanoid shape, but with a beast-like head. There are plenty of reports and sightings of similar beings, but we still haven't fully recognized or understood what they really are. Maybe it's time to finally give these creatures an identity, because honestly, I don't want to come face to face with something we're denying even exists. This guy was heading back from a fishing trip in the woods, completely unaware that he was being watched. The video was uploaded on February 18th, 2017, to an Ohio-based paranormal reports channel on YouTube. It came from a hiker who had been out fishing, but on his way back, while climbing down a nearly vertical hill, his foot slipped. He fell hard, injuring his knee, and decided to sit on the ground for a moment to catch his breath. That's when he saw something that made his heart skip a beat.
Fishing and catching a bunch of catfish, channel cats. A black shape walk over to the edge, and then it just vanished that quick.
In the distance, a strange black figure moved through the trees. Intrigued, and maybe a little reckless, he decided to climb back up and get a closer look. What he captured next was a humanoid figure, entirely covered in what appeared to be thick black fur, slowly strolling through the undergrowth. To many viewers, it looked like your classic Bigfoot sighting, just another day in the woods for the legendary creature. I have to admit, I'm leaning toward the Bigfoot theory myself, but there's something odd here. The figure seems shorter and slimmer than most reported sightings, which makes me wonder, could this have been a juvenile Bigfoot? Even stranger, the hiker gave chase, making plenty of noise in the process. Yet, the creature didn't seem to notice at all. From what we know, Bigfoot is supposed to be extremely aware of its surroundings. So either this one was incredibly distracted, or maybe it wasn't Bigfoot at all. What do you think? Was this a genuine sighting of a legendary cryptid, or just another internet hoax for views? A trail camera owner was casually reviewing last night's footage, just passing the time, until he stumbled upon something that gave him the shock of his life. The video, which quickly went viral across platforms like YouTube and TikTok, appears to show a bizarre, moth-like creature caught on camera. The figure emerges from behind what looks like a broken tree trunk, its gaze locked directly into the lens, as if it knows it's being watched. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary moth, until you notice the terrifying detail. It's massive. We all know moths are attracted to light, and maybe this one was too. But why is it so huge? Some online have dubbed it the Mothman, a legendary creature said to be a cross between a moth and a humanoid, first reported in the 1960s around Point Pleasant, West Virginia. While that sounds like a fitting identity, there's one problem. This thing doesn't match the classic Mothman descriptions. The original legend describes a distinctly humanoid form, but this creature seems to be entirely moth. Although, if you look closely, you can make out what appear to be humanoid arms and a bulky, looming body. The more logical explanation is that the creature was probably right up against the camera lens, creating an illusion of massive size. and those so-called arms were just the thick edges of its wings. Still, logical or not, the way this thing stares directly into the camera, almost knowingly, is enough to send shivers down your spine. The word witch can mean many different things across cultures. Sometimes, if people witness something beyond the realm of possibility, they might call it a witch, a shapeshifter, a shaman. But whatever this video captured, everyone can agree, it's pretty terrifying. It comes from a family reviewing their CCTV footage from the previous night. Footage that revealed something they simply couldn't explain. In the clip, they point out what appears to be a dark figure gliding through the street, leaving behind a faint, glowing red trail. The family was so convinced it was a witch that they decided to enhance the video with a thermal vision filter, only to find the exact same shadowy figure in motion. The uploader and most viewers are calling this genuine witch footage, and judging by the eerie appearance, it's not hard to see why. For those wondering if it could be edited or AI generated, the fact that the figure still appeared under thermal vision makes it much harder to dismiss as a simple fake. Of course, there's always room for logical speculation. Personally, I think it could be something more ordinary, perhaps a firefly caught in the camera's exposure, or maybe even a small drone flying through the street. The drone theory feels more likely, as the movement of its propellers could distort the air in a way that creates the illusion of a humanoid figure. Still, that's just speculation we tell ourselves to keep our sanity. Because let's be honest, nobody wants the idea of a witch wandering through their neighborhood streets at night. This next post, uploaded just 25 days ago, comes from a Reddit user claiming that his girlfriend had shared a mirror selfie from her recently purchased home. But when he looked at it closely, he noticed something that absolutely terrified him. At first glance, it looks like a perfectly normal Instagram story, a girl taking a mirror selfie in her new place. But then your eyes drift to the background, to the reflection in the window. Zoom in, and you'll spot what appears to be a face standing just behind her. According to the uploader, his girlfriend has always felt a strange presence in that house, even more unsettling. The previous owner allegedly told her that she speaks with these entities. This one feels like a solid paranormal case. The face in the reflection looks distinctly humanoid. The girlfriend says the home is over 100 years old. So maybe what we're seeing is the spirit of a former resident, quietly watching from the shadows. Of course, there are other theories. I personally noticed that the face has a somewhat rigid, stone-like quality. So maybe it's a statue. But then again, who would place a statue right outside a window like that? Some even claim it could just be curtains. But honestly, that theory falls apart the moment you see how clearly defined the face is. Either way, after seeing this, I think most of us will think twice before snapping a mirror selfie, especially if there's a window behind us. You never know when a Little Caesar statue might decide to photobomb. The world is divided into two kinds of people, those who believe in extraterrestrial life and those who don't. But this video might just shock both sides. Captured in Colombia back in June 2020, it shows what the residents of a small village spotted one quiet morning in the sky. While they were relaxing, their attention was drawn to something unusual, a saucer-like flying object gliding effortlessly overhead. The cameraman and his friends, puzzled and intrigued, kept filming as the mysterious craft floated along until it descended into the woods and vanished completely. Visually, it matches the classic description of an alien UFO. And before you think drone, let's be real, drones aren't usually that big, and they don't drift this smoothly before disappearing into a forest. So, if it's not a drone, what is it? Could it be an advanced aircraft? Or perhaps something crafted with technology far beyond our own? Whatever it was, its sudden appearance in the skies over Colombia leaves us with more questions than answers. While scrolling through TikTok, I stumbled upon a 12-year-old video that made me seriously question, what in the world is lurking in our waters? It was filmed by an unknown person at an unknown location. But that's not the important part. What matters is what the camera actually captured. In the clip, a strange creature slowly emerges from beneath the surface of what appears to be a lake. At first glance, it almost looks like an eel, but the longer you look, the stranger it gets. Its body has bizarre textures and features that don't match anything we've seen before. Some people who've watched this footage are calling it a siren. In Greek mythology, sirens are mythical beings, half woman, half bird, or fish, who enchant sailors with their haunting songs, luring them to their doom. And before you say, maybe it's AI, remember, this was recorded 12 years ago, long before AI could generate realistic videos. Whatever this is, it's either a deep-sea creature we've yet to discover, or something not from this world at all. It was a crisp October night in 1973, with the Orionid meteor shower streaking across the heavens. A perfect evening for stargazing, until something far stranger appeared over Richland County. 4 U.S. Army Reserve crewmen were flying a Huey helicopter when they noticed a red light racing toward them at incredible speed. The pilot dove to avoid a collision, but the object stopped instantly in mid-air, hovered directly above them, and flooded the cockpit with a blinding green beam. Moments later, the helicopter inexplicably shot upward, climbing 2,000 feet without any change in the controls. Shaken and running dangerously low on fuel, the crew abandoned their planned landing in Mansfield and pushed on straight to Cleveland. Civilians on the ground witnessed the same strange light, yet skeptics quickly wrote it off as nothing more than a meteor. Still, the story made headlines across newspapers nationwide, sparking heated debates. But let's be honest, no meteor on Earth stops midair, hovers over a helicopter, and somehow lifts it skyward. The details here don't fit a falling rock from space. They point to a controlled, intelligently guided craft. And that's exactly why this incident remains one of the most compelling UFO encounters in history. This next video from Bangalore, India, comes from a biker on a late-night ride, when he stumbled upon something straight out of a nightmare. Riding down an empty road, he passed what at first looked like just another elderly woman walking by. But as he focused, his heart nearly stopped. She appeared to be missing her head. Yeah, no head, just a body, walking along as if nothing was wrong. viewers were quick to label it the Headless Ghost, or Surkata Bhoot, a figure from rural North Indian ghost lore, described as a human-shaped spirit without a head. But in this case, I think we're looking at something far less supernatural, yet still eerie. The woman likely suffers from a condition called kyphosis, where the upper spine curves forward abnormally, causing a hunched or stooped posture. In the video, you can even spot her head when the biker passes in front of her. Even if it's just an elderly woman with a medical condition, stumbling across something like this on an empty road at night would definitely send a chill down your spine. Sometimes, reality can be just as unsettling as ghost stories. This video, recorded on August 22nd, 2024, went viral across the internet, and for some pretty unsettling reasons. It comes from Mexico and was captured by a farmhouse security camera aimed toward the front field. At exactly 4:26 p.m., the camera picks up something strange, an orb gliding silently across the grass. But then, things get really weird.
Mira, se mira esto como de luz pasando, pero no se graba muy bien, y luego después sale como un señor, mira, se para ahí.
The orb suddenly transforms into a person, and just when you think that's bizarre enough, a few seconds later, it morphs again, this time into two individuals, before vanishing exactly the way it appeared.
Y como que se convierte en un señor, mira. Viendo el reloj de la cámara, se está grabando, mira, se mira como dos cabezas, para a lo mejor es una pareja, pero no sé, se empieza a mover.
The internet went wild with theories, some calling it a witch, others a shapeshifter, and quite a few dubbing it a skinwalker. But let's be a bit real here. I, and some experts, lean toward a different explanation. It could simply be the camera's infrared system, unable to reflect off the people in the field, possibly holding a flashlight. Once they switched the light off, they became visible in a different way, creating that strange morphing effect. Still, that's just a possibility. It doesn't change the fact that the footage looks downright eerie, and the way it plays out is enough to give anyone chills. Our forests, no matter how serene and relaxing they seem, can also hide mysteries, and one such mystery was caught on a trail camera, sending shockwaves through the entire Reddit community. In January 2025, a user posted to the Trailcam subreddit asking for help in figuring out what in the world their camera had captured. In the photo, a strange, unnerving figure stands in the woods, staring directly at the lens, as if it's onto something. Its body, its head, and especially its eyes look disturbingly unnatural, like something was wrong with them. Most viewers quickly labeled it a skinwalker, but others suggested more grounded explanations. A coyote standing on its hind legs with something in its mouth, or maybe even a deer caught mid-jump. But honestly, it's the way it's staring into the camera that unsettles me the most. It doesn't just look like an animal caught by chance. It feels like it wants something. And maybe, just maybe, it wants me. This Reddit user was flipping through his grandma's old photo albums when he stumbled upon something she herself couldn't explain. According to the uploader, while going through the pictures, he found one that showed a strange, blurred figure in her bedroom. At first, he assumed it might be a family member, until he asked his grandma. To his shock, She swore there was no one else there when she took the photo. At the time, she had been upstairs alone, while his grandfather was downstairs, eliminating the possibility of another woman being present. Still, in the image, you can clearly make out what looks like a ghostly woman in the room, brown-haired, wearing a white hat and dress, and seemingly missing one arm. The photo has motion blur, as if the figure was moving quickly in the small space. If the grandma's account is true, this could be a rare, genuine capture of a ghost on camera. Some viewers even noticed the figure appears to be wearing a bonnet and nightgown, leading to speculation that it might be a maid or nurse from the past. And honestly, that theory makes sense. I mean, who randomly takes photos of the foot of their bed unless there's something unusual there? It's creepy, no doubt, but without more witnesses, this one leaves us with far more questions than answers. Millions of years ago, Earth was home to creatures we could only describe as monsters. Today, we like to think they're long gone, but are they really? This video, posted on TikTok, was recorded by a group of hunters out in the woods for deer hunting until they stumbled across something straight out of a prehistoric nightmare. Lying on the forest floor was the corpse of a reticulated python, its massive skull still intact, but its insides long devoured by insects and scavengers. Just the sight of such a colossal creature's remains is enough to make your skin crawl. The sheer length and thickness of its body is terrifying on its own. But the skull? It almost looks like it belonged to some four-legged predator rather than a snake. At one point, the hunter even rolls up its skin, revealing just how thick it is, its dragon-like scales shimmering in the light, suggesting this was a rare specimen. Reticulated pythons are already record breakers, averaging 10 to 20 feet, 3 to 6 meters in length, with some growing over 30 feet, 9 meters. Their bodies can be 2.4 to 5.9 inches, 6 to 15 centimeters thick, making them, without a doubt, some of the last living monsters still slithering across our planet. We've all heard ghost stories, but few are rooted in real tragedy, quite like the tale of Helen Glatke. Helen was the wife of Warden Arthur Glatke of the Mansfield Reformatory. In 1950, she died after a loaded gun accidentally discharged in their apartment, striking her. Rumors soon spread that Arthur had murdered her, but those who knew the couple swore he adored his wife, and her sudden death shattered him until his own passing in 1959. That's where the story shifts from sad to unsettling. Today, many believe Helen's spirit still lingers in the administration wing, especially near her infamous pink bathroom. Visitors often report catching the scent of roses, possibly her perfume, along with sudden cold spots on sweltering days, camera malfunctions, and the uneasy feeling of being watched inside the former Glatke apartment. Her son, Theodore, dismisses the ghost stories, believing instead that the spirits of loved ones remain close in a more personal, unseen way. But paranormal investigators suggest Helen's presence may be a form of residual energy, or perhaps the manifestation of a deep emotional bond to the place she once called home. With the Mansfield Reformatory's already chilling reputation, bolstered by its role in the Shawshank Redemption, Helen's story has become one of its most enduring legends. To me, the Helen Glatke haunting feels less like a conventional ghost tale and more like a lingering echo of sudden loss and enduring love. The repeated reports of rose perfume in our private space are difficult to dismiss. Whether it's residual energy or a conscious spirit, there's an undeniable magnetic pull to that part of the reformatory. We've all seen Godzilla movies, but are you brave enough to consider that something like it might exist in real life? This video, uploaded on Instagram, shows a little girl recording what appears to be a cow's dead body floating in the water. However, there's something truly terrifying about it. If you look closely, you can see a massive creature dragging the cow from beneath the water. It's a crocodile, but not just any crocodile. This thing is a monstrous giant. There's something incredibly eerie about watching its massive body effortlessly pull its prey under the surface. But the most unsettling part is that the little girl filming the scene remains completely calm, despite this beast lurking right in front of her. That alone gives me chills. If you're one of those who don't believe in Bigfoot or other cryptids, this video from NVTV might just change your mind. This footage is over 10 years old and claims to have captured a real-life Sasquatch on camera. It was recorded by a terrified mountain hiker who heard strange noises coming from the woods during his hike. As he panned his camera around, he spotted a massive black figure strolling through the trees. It looked distinctly humanoid and matched the classic Bigfoot description. After stabilizing and enhancing the footage, the creature's towering size becomes even more apparent as it walks away from the camera. Compared to the nearby trees, it's massive and covered in thick black fur. The moment the hiker spotted it, fear took over, and he immediately fled the area. I've seen plenty of so-called Bigfoot sightings, but this one stands out, mainly because of the hiker's genuine reaction and the clarity of the footage. If someone were trying to fake it, you'd expect more close-up shots and extended footage. What do you think? Could this be real proof of Bigfoot? Let me know in the comments. This next video from Russia made headlines in the news as it shows something truly unsettling. This footage comes from a CCTV camera inside a morgue in Russia, where viewers were left shocked to see a dead man suddenly waking up. In the video, we can see his lifeless body lying on a stretcher until it starts moving. The man literally removes the sheet covering him and begins getting up, as if he were alive. So, what is going on here? Some people are calling it a miracle of God, which, in a way, might be true. but according to a friend of mine who worked as a paramedic for 4 years, this actually isn't as rare as you'd think. After doing a bit of research, I found out that this phenomenon is known as catalepsy, a condition where the heart beats so faintly and slowly that even modern medical equipment can fail to detect it, leading doctors to mistakenly declare a person dead. In reality, they were never actually dead in the first place. Even though there's a logical explanation, I can't even imagine the sheer terror the nurse who discovered this man must have felt. This video will show you why you should always stay clear of abandoned haunted houses, because something like this could be waiting for you. This footage comes from a YouTuber looking at a creepy abandoned house in the dead of night, with only his flashlight illuminating the darkness. As he shines it on the house, we suddenly see a massive, pitch-black shadow moving in one of the windows. This figure is incredibly dark, and its size is disturbingly large. I don't know about you guys, but it really seems like this shadow was warning the cameraman to stay away. If I were in his shoes, I would have turned around and never looked back. It is said that hospitals are the perfect place for spirits and ghosts to lurk, and this CCTV footage from a hospital ward might just prove it. This video was uploaded on TikTok, claiming to have captured the ghost of a child on CCTV. As the footage begins, we see a nurse suddenly running out of the ward, clearly terrified by something. As other staff members walk in to check, they don't seem to notice a dark, shadowy child standing eerily still in the room. What's even creepier is that one of the nurses walks straight through its head, yet the child remains motionless. The nurse was definitely scared of something, but the real terrifying question is, why couldn't the rest of the staff see it? Was it truly a ghost child, or was it something far more sinister? Morning jogs are all fun and games, until a knife-wielding clown starts chasing you.
Yo, Patrick, he has a knife.
This eerie clip was filmed in Newark, Ohio by a Facebook user named Chase Pryor, after he heard rumors about clowns terrorizing people in the area. While jogging with his friend, Chase witnessed it firsthand on a footbridge. As he called out to the clown, it slowly turned to face them before silently walking in their direction. But as the unsettling figure got closer, it suddenly broke into a full sprint, charging straight at them. That was all the warning they needed. Chase and his friend ran for their lives, and the video abruptly ended.
Okay, so Patrick and I, we're out here running, and I swear to God, man, we just saw a clown. Yo, it's 7:30 in the morning. Have you heard about all this? Freaking out about this. Yo, Patrick, he has a knife. Dude, what?
Back then, There were dozens of reports across the US of clowns robbing people and even trying to lure kids into the woods. So witnessing something like this in real time, absolutely terrifying. People say dogs can see and sense things that we can't, and this video might just prove why we should believe that. This video comes from a dog owner who was out on a night jog when his dog suddenly became distressed and panicked. The dog kept stopping, fixating on the bushes as if it had spotted something lurking in the darkness. And when we slow down the footage, just as the camera pans toward the bushes, we can see something terrifying. A figure peeking from behind a tree.
Come on. Bruce! Come on.
The dog is clearly startled by its presence, staring at it without breaking eye contact. This video is a chilling reminder of why you should always trust your dog's instincts and maybe think twice before jogging alone in the woods at night. When this man took his dog, Nyla, for a walk that night, he had no idea it would be anything but normal.
My dog and I come out here every night for a walk, and I have this insane spotlight. What the hell is that? Nyla, get over here right now. Hey! Nyla! What the fuck is that? Nyla, come here.
Did you notice the glowing eyes watching them? And to make things even worse, Nyla wouldn't listen to a single command. It was like she was frozen in fear. But here's where it gets really creepy. If you look closely, you will see that those glowing eyes are pretty high off the ground, which means whatever this thing is, it's huge. Some people believe creatures like this are the reason people vanish without a trace. And honestly, they might be right. After all, who knows what's watching us when we're not looking? In southern Maine, less than 100 miles from Boston, a mysterious trail was discovered on February 16th of this year. Many believe it's the strongest proof yet that Bigfoot is real. The footprints are massive, twice the size of a size 12 boot, and they sink deep into the snow and ice, meaning whatever left them was big and heavy. Some might say they're just boot prints, but look closely. There's no tread, no markings, nothing that looks like a winter boot. But here's the strangest part. The steps are long and evenly spaced, almost too perfect. The footage is fresh and hasn't been verified yet, but that hasn't stopped the internet from exploding with theories. What do you think? Could this finally be real proof? Antarctica is one of the most remote and mysterious places on Earth. Most people assume that because of the extreme cold, only a few animals can survive there. But some recently surfaced photos suggest that this frozen continent might be hiding more than we ever imagined. A drone captured footage of a creature that doesn't match anything known to science. At first, people thought it was just a one-time sighting until another drone recorded something eerily similar. And here's where it gets even stranger. While researching the ocean, an underwater camera picked up footage of a creature that looks just like the one seen above the ice. Some believe this is just a newly discovered species, and that it's only a matter of time before scientists figure out exactly what it is. is, but others aren't so sure. According to legend, the Ningen is a mysterious creature from Japanese folklore, said to live in the icy waters of Antarctica. It's described as a massive, white, humanoid sea creature, anywhere from 18 to 30 meters long, with arms, legs, and 5-fingered hands. Some versions say it has a mermaid-like tail instead. The stories first gained attention on Japanese internet forums, where people shared accounts from whaling research ship crews who claimed to have seen it. Of course, this is just a legend, or is it? Because when you compare the description of the Ningen to the strange footage from Antarctica, it's almost an exact match. Call it coincidence if you want, but for me, that's more than enough reason to believe this creature might be real. When a woman set out for a peaceful boat ride on Lake Okanagan, she never imagined that a single photo from that day would go viral across the internet. According to expert John King, what people saw in the image was nothing more than a dead crab or lobster floating upside down, with its claws breaking the surface of the water. He claims that the eerie face everyone sees is actually just its underside. But the legends of this lake tell a very different story. Long ago, the Syilx people believed a powerful water spirit lived beneath the surface. Later, colonizers spoke of something far more terrifying, a massive lake monster known as Ogopogo. Described as a serpentine creature, Ogopogo is said to have a horse-like head, horns, and dark, scaly skin. Witnesses claim it's around 60 feet long, with powerful fins that help it glide through the water. So, is this creature a guardian spirit, as the Syilx believed, or is it a fearsome monster waiting beneath the waves? One thing's for sure, I wouldn't want to find out firsthand. In New Orleans City Park, Kim Frusciante, a local nursery school founder, was filming near the lagoon when she accidentally captured a massive, snake-like creature moving through the water. Kim was shocked by its size, claiming she had never seen anything like it before. Meanwhile, the internet went wild with theories. Some believe it's a genetically modified fish, while skeptics say it's probably just a large koi carp or an Asian walleye, both known to grow big and adapt to different water conditions. Others think it could be an exotic pet, like a red-tailed catfish that someone dumped into the wild. But let's be honest, this doesn't look like a fish at all. Some have even started calling it the Loch Ness Monster of New Orleans, suggesting it could be a cryptid or a species we haven't identified yet. So, what do you think? Could this really be a new undiscovered creature lurking in the waters of Louisiana? And speaking of strange creatures, a group of tourists out whale watching in Monterey Bay, California, stumbled upon something they never expected: a blood-red creature slowly wriggling along the shore. Fascinated, but also uneasy, they carefully lifted it with a piece of cardboard and returned it to the water. But before the mystery could spiral out of control, experts stepped in with an explanation. The creature was actually a bloodworm, a type of marine invertebrate with transparent skin, allowing its red blood plasma to show through. These worms can grow up to 30 centimeters long and have a venomous snout lined with sharp, human-like teeth that shoot out to grab prey. But despite the scientific explanation, some people aren't convinced. Many believe this is just the beginning, proof that there are far stranger creatures lurking in the deep, ones we haven't even discovered yet. A tourist from Shanghai, Mrs. Li, never imagined that while gazing over Tianqi Lake in Xinjiang, she would spot something completely out of the ordinary. What she recorded was estimated to be around 50 feet long. At first glance, some might dismiss it as just a wave, but that theory falls apart when you realize the rest of the water was completely still. Mrs. Lee thought it could be a school of fish, or maybe even a giant water snake. But when she asked the tourist center, they had no answers. In fact, they confirmed that the biggest known fish in the lake is a rainbow trout, and it only grows to 3 feet long. Even stranger, this isn't the first time something like this has been seen. The first reports of a mysterious lake creature date all the way back to 1962. So, who's to say China doesn't have its own version of Nessie lurking beneath the surface? And if you still prefer a rational explanation, here's something to think about. This lake is 1,223 feet deep, and there are underwater tunnels at the bottom that no human has ever explored. Jesse Clausen and Camille Avarella went hiking on Long's Peak in Colorado, expecting nothing more than a breathtaking view. During their adventure, everything seemed normal, but when they got home and looked at their photos, they saw something that made their blood run cold. Do you see anything strange in this picture? If not, let's zoom in. The creature, whatever it is estimated to be around 20 feet long. Of course, some people online claim it's just a shadow from the rocks, but when was the last time you saw a shadow that looked like a monster? Others have linked this sighting to the legend of the Colorado Giant, a conspiracy theory about ancient humanoids that may have somehow survived into modern times. Stories of massive humanoid creatures in remote mountain areas have been around for years. Some even claim that American soldiers encountered similar beings while on missions in Iraq and Afghanistan. Then there's the alien theory. Some believe this thing might not even be from our planet at all. Whatever it was, one thing is certain: Jesse and Camille were lucky to make it off that mountain alive. Workers at the Adani Rail Project in central Queensland showed up one morning to find strange tracks and drag marks at the construction site.
You got a cigarette box?
No, just put my boot next to it. Fucking brick clean in half, and then this next to it.
Got a good shot of it? That might be a better one there.
The marks led them hundreds of meters to something shocking: a boar carcass ripped completely in half. None of them had ever seen anything like it. Large footprints trailed back into the bush, suggesting whatever killed the boar dragged it from somewhere else. The site itself is a sacred Aboriginal area, known for UFO sightings and paranormal activity. According to Aboriginal stories, Yowies, Australia's version of Bigfoot, roam these lands. Could the footprints belong to one? And if you're still skeptical, just take a look at the size of the footprint compared to this worker's boot. Suddenly, it doesn't seem so impossible, does it? The first reported footage of the Loch Ness Monster in 2025 was captured by a visitor at Doris Beach, Scotland, on January 29th. He saw a dark shape moving just beneath the water's surface. The video was sent to the Loch Ness Center, where experts noted that the weather was unusually calm, making it easy to see the waves caused by the creature. Some think it could be a giant eel, while skeptics say it's probably a seal or a boat. But this isn't the only evidence that keeps the Loch Ness mystery alive. In March 2022, veteran Nessie hunter Ian O'Fowdageen reported a sighting after 3 months of no activity. He filmed 2 objects moving parallel on the lake's surface. Tourist Tom Ingram also had a strange encounter. While on a tour boat, he picked up a large object on sonar, sitting 400 feet below the surface. At first, he thought it was a joke, until he realized the crew was just as shocked as he was. With over 1,000 sightings recorded, the mystery of Nessie is still far from solved, and whether she's real or not, that's for you to decide. For some reason, this man ended up deep inside underground pipes, but it didn't take long for him to realize just how bad of an idea that was.
Meu Deus! Sai! Não vem não! Não vem não! Ai, gente, me ajuda! Eu devo ficar de olho. Tem que ficar de olho, gente. Tem que ficar de olho. Se eu tirar a câmera, ele vem. Se eu tirar a câmera, ele vem, gente. Se eu tirar o flash, a luz. Ai, meu Deus do céu. Parece que tem mais lá na frente. Ah, não, tem mais lá, gente. Mas aquele é grande, a altura daquele lá, ó. Olha lá piscando lá, ó. Vou ter que passar correndo. Tem que passar correndo. Vai vir, ele vai vir. Ai, meu Deus, ele vai vir. Eu vou ter que passar correndo, gente. Ai! Ah!
You can hear the fear in his voice, the way he just wants to get out as fast as possible. And honestly, who wouldn't? Because when several pairs of glowing eyes are staring at you from the darkness, the only thing on your mind is getting away. Maybe it was just animals. Maybe there was nothing to fear. But what if it wasn't? Some believe these tunnels could be home to skinwalkers, creatures from legend said to have embraced dark magic by sacrificing their own family. According to stories, they hide deep underground, moving through pipes, tunnels, and sewers, staying far from human eyes. And if that's true, it's no wonder we never see them. And maybe that's for the best. Some creatures are better left alone. In Texas, a woman named Tina Kalig filmed something strange in her backyard. The creature looked so unusual that she had no idea what it was, so she posted the footage online, hoping someone could help her identify it. The internet immediately exploded with theories. Many were convinced that the creature could be the chupacabra, the legendary bloodthirsty beast from Latin American folklore. According to the stories, the chupacabra attacks livestock, especially goats, at night, draining their blood. Some describe it as a reptilian monster with spines running down its back, while others say it looks like a mangy, mutated dog or wolf. Scientists usually dismiss these sightings, claiming they are just sick coyotes or mixed breed dogs. But no matter how many explanations are given, the theories never die. So, is this footage the final proof of the chupacabra's existence, or just another optical illusion? We've all heard the legend of mermaids, but one man who posted this video on social media claims to have proof that they're real. The footage clearly shows a tailed creature with hands, just like a human. But honestly, I'm not sure what to believe. I mean, even if mermaids exist, there's a reason we hardly ever see them, and why no one has ever confirmed their existence. And this video shows an entire group of mermaids leaping out of the waves. For me, this is a little too good to be true. This video was recorded by a man who was in the process of moving out of his house and packing up his belongings. However, something very strange and unsettling was happening in his house. In the video, he shows himself playing video games and reveals his living room filled with packing boxes. Then, he points the camera toward the kitchen cabinets. Suddenly, one of the cabinet doors swings open wide, all on its own. There's no one nearby and no strings or wires involved. This strange phenomenon happened multiple times before, and the man can now predict which cabinet the ghost will target. But it's not just the kitchen cabinets. The man also experiences strange occurrences with his doors. In another clip, as he's engrossed in playing video games, his room door opens by itself. He shows the room, confirming that it's empty with no one inside. Towards the end of the video, as he returns to the kitchen, his chair also moves without anyone touching it. It's evident that he's dealing with a mischievous ghost in his house, and it's no wonder he's decided to move out. Just like the uncharted depths of the oceans, there are parts of our forests that remain unexplored, concealing potentially strange and fascinating creatures unknown to us. In this video, we are presented with an unsettling sight of a peculiar creature lurking near a house's fences. This creature's face doesn't resemble any typical forest-dwelling creature we're familiar with. It has a demonic appearance, with deep, sinister eyes and a hunched back that adds to its eerie demeanor. The creature is crouched near the house's fence, seemingly observing and curious about what it might find. After a while of lurking, it becomes aware of the camera's presence, and as it notices the camera, it swiftly runs away. Judging by its looks and features, some might speculate that this creature could be a dogman, as they are known for their mix of dog and wolf-like facial features. The chupacabra is a legendary creature known for its alleged attacks on livestock, particularly goats, and sometimes even humans, when it's desperate. In this video, we are presented with a creature by the roadside, and at first glance, we might mistake the creature for a dog. However, upon closer examination, it becomes evident that it strongly resembles a chupacabra. This creature is devoid of hair and possesses a long, slender body with distinctive and sharp facial features, closely aligning with the typical description. In the video, we witness this feeding on livestock, presumably obtained from a nearby farm. Its sole focus seems to be satisfying its hunger, paying little attention to the person recording it. While some might speculate it could be a dog with a rare genetic mutation, we cannot say for certain. This video comes from a GoPro camera mounted on a biker's helmet after he had been in an accident, causing his helmet to fall off. Surprisingly, the camera continued recording and captured an incredibly unsettling scene. We can see two bikes lying on the ground. As we look closely, a dark figure slowly maneuvers through the bushes in the background. After moving to the far right side, it peeks out from the bushes, revealing its eerie face. This face is extremely pale, with a strange and unsettling smile and dark, deep-set eyes. At first glance, it appears as though the figure is observing the accident. However, if you pause the video when it peeks out, you'll notice that it's looking directly at the camera. This video is from a Texas home security camera, showing the view of a home's front lawn. In the video, a figure comes into view as it moves along the street at a distance. This figure appears hunched and humanoid, resembling someone with perhaps back problems or elderly in appearance. While it could be an elderly person, what's peculiar is their presence outside at 5 in the morning. Furthermore, it seems that this mysterious person is uncertain about their actions. They initially head in one direction, then appear to either remember something or forget something, leading them to change course and head in the opposite direction. While this scene isn't necessarily unexplained or supernatural, it's undeniably a strange sight. If indeed it's an elderly person in need of assistance, one can only hope they received the help they required. On December 31st, 2022, 3 policemen were dispatched to answer a call reporting creepy noises coming from a nearby house. Assuming it would be a routine search, the officers entered the house to investigate. Unbeknownst to them, they were about to encounter a terrifying sight. This is what their body cameras captured. The officers opened a door in the house. Their reaction upon seeing what was inside suggests something horrifying. As they attempted to enter the room, something prevented them.
Kurwa, do tej pory mam dreszcze, gdy oglądam.
Ona jest nad nami u góry, od góry coś widzi.
Undeterred, the officers persisted in trying to gain access to the room.
Uważaj. A wy ją widzicie w ogóle?
There was someone inside the room, but the cops were somehow unable to go in. So they decided to try another way. They went outside and attempted to enter through the window.
Te policjanci po prostu czekają, no. Podejrzewam, zastanawiam się. Nie ma się co spieszyć przy takich interwencjach, bo to jest niepotrzebne. To trzeba tak załatwić, żeby w miarę nie zrobić tej kobiecie krzywdy. Tym bardziej, że ona jest najprawdopodobniej na 100% jest chora psychicznie. No i też, żeby tobie się nic nie stało. Tak ona pamiętamy, że miała jakieś tam druty przy sobie.
Tu jesteś, dzikuska. Chodź, misiu. Nie bardziej jak świnia, kurwa. Chodź. Chodź tu, kurwo.
Oj, to nieładnie było w sumie. Ale nie wiem, czy to policjant powiedział, czy jakiś ktoś z domowników.
Chodź tu, Kamilka. Kamilka, tu coś cię widzę. No nie czołgaj się. Kamilka.
Nie wiem, po co to strobo jest włączone, bo to tak i tak. Nie wiem, czy tą laskę zorientujesz, że tak... Naprawdę, a tylko ty nie będziesz nic widzieć. Już powoli widać tą panią.
Kamilciu.
No widzicie? Już widać twarz.
Chodź, Kamilcia, dziecko.
As the cops were finding a way inside, a scary face appeared in the window. It was the woman who had been living in the apartment, and she was apparently possessed by a demonic entity. The video abruptly ended there. It is unknown whether the cops continued the investigation or simply left. On October 27, 2021, a security guard was off duty near an abandoned building at night. Surprisingly, he kept seeing a shadow in a building where no one lived. So, to confirm this, the officer decided to approach the building. This is what he recorded.
I'm at site 422. This place definitely gives out some creepy vibes.
His suspicion was proven to be true. As the officer walked past one of the windows, a shadow appeared on the glass. The shadow lurked right beside the officer, but he couldn't see it. However, the paranormal happenings didn't end there. There was more to come. Because as soon as he moved away from the house, this is what he recorded.
What the f***?
Not just because he heard a weird sound before he bumped into something. Then the sound of footsteps echoed through the night as they approached the officer. Then, all of a sudden, the footsteps stopped. Seeing that too many creepy things were going on in the building, the officer quickly made his way back to his patrol car and immediately reported his experience on the property and drove away from the building, never to return. 2 police officers responded to a very strange call one night. A local resident had spotted something unusual at the lake, a white figure hovering above the water for 15 whole minutes. This mysterious shape just stayed there. The witness was so disturbed by what he saw that he called the police. What happened next was caught by the responding officers.
Oh, hell fucking no way.
Hello?
Hello? Babe, it's fucking moving. Hello?
Hi.
Oh, babe.
Help.
Oh my God.
Is that a woman?
I don't know what the fuck it is.
The footage ends there, leaving us with more questions than answers. Did the officers make contact with whoever or whatever was at the pier? While some viewers criticized how the officers handled the situation, others pointed to something far more chilling. One of the officers claimed that the figure had no face at all. Was this simply someone playing a prank in the dead of night, or did these officers encounter something that defies explanation? On March 14, 2017, police officers in Brazil responded to a strange call from a school late at night. They were about to witness an unusual event. Not knowing what was making that sound, the officers moved forward just to see this. But as soon as they got near, things got even more spooky as the door suddenly stopped banging and the light strangely got turned off on its own. After turning the light back on, they could clearly see that there was nothing visible that could be causing the slamming sound. The locker door hung open, completely empty. The unsettling encounter at the school remains a mystery. On a chilly night, a lady had gotten home after going out to shop. When she got back home, she saw the door to the house open. Scared that someone might have broken into her house, she immediately called the cops for help. However, when the cops arrived, they realized that the case wasn't a break-in, but something paranormal lurking around.
What seems to be the problem?
I left for a while to go shopping, and when I came home, the door is open. I think somebody broke in.
Does anyone live in the house?
Yes, my husband, myself, and our 2 kids, but they're out of town right now. They're with his parents.
And how many rooms do you have?
2 upstairs and 1 downstairs.
All right, we're gonna have to go and search the house. Is it okay if we go in?
Yeah, of course.
You don't have any like pets or dogs or anything?
No.
Right.
The officers walked into the building to check if there was any intruder. However, the intruder they were expecting to see was not exactly what they found inside. For starters, a sudden bang on the wardrobe shocked the officer. Whatever it was that was lurking around in the house was beginning to make itself known, and at the same time, build up fear in the officer. They knew something was strange, and from there on, it just kept getting stranger and scarier. Because as one of the officers moved upstairs, this is what he recorded.
Police! Anyone inside, make yourself known.
At first, the body cam started glitching, and then as the officer climbs up the stairs and makes the turn, the door right in front of him opens itself. Still, he went inside the room to check if anyone was there, but apparently it was as clear as it could be. Seeing that the room was clear, he decided to get out of the room. However, the coast was not yet clear.
Downstairs, clear.
After checking the whole floor just as he was about to get down, he heard footsteps, as if someone was running right behind him, almost about to attack him or something, but as soon as he turned, there was no one. Seeing that there was nothing in the house, the officer left, but that must have haunted those officers for years. On 10th of October, 2024, a TikTok user named Sarah Vargas was filming herself in her bathroom mirror when she started hearing strange noises from the apartment next door. The sounds kept getting louder and more worrying, and she kept recording, not knowing she would capture something truly out of the ordinary. As soon as Sarah realized something serious was happening in the apartment next to hers, she went to check. By then, the police also had already arrived while neighbors gathered in the street, thinking they were dealing with a fight between residents. But this idea quickly changed when one of the officers, now inside the apartment, called out through the window, asking if anyone could lend them a rosary. They later discovered that two young women had been using a Ouija board. During their session, one of them started behaving very strangely, as if something evil had taken control of her. Witnesses reported that she began throwing up a dark substance that looked like dirt. The police could only confirm what they had seen and concluded that something supernatural appeared to be affecting the young woman. According to Sarah, the disturbing screams continued throughout the night before finally coming to an end. The events left both the people living nearby and the local police deeply troubled. The case was documented as what appeared to be an exorcism taking place, as they couldn't find any normal explanation for what they had witnessed.
O sea, porque ya lo hemos vivido. Entonces, pues bueno, lo dejamos pasar, pero igual yo dije, como voy a mostrarlo. Entonces ahí fue cuando empecé a grabar como la primera parte del video, como para que escucharan lo que se escuchaba desde el baño, pero yo no contaba con que iban a empezar a gritar afuera, entonces pues...
Late at night on November 7th, 2024, a security guard was wrapping up his shift at the UPS parking lot, where his duties included checking the parked delivery trucks. Many employees had reported unsettling experiences there, seeing strange shadows and hearing odd sounds, like someone following behind them. The guard, aware of these stories, had started recording his rounds just in case anything unusual happened. During one of his final checks that night, something unexplained occurred.
Noises. Freaking stuff be opening by itself. So yeah, it's time to go. Y'all think I'll be playing, bro? This will be crazy.
Seconds after he locked up one of the trucks, its inside door suddenly opened on its own. The guard insisted he had secured that door completely, making it impossible for it to open by itself. What made things even more disturbing was that as he moved away from the truck, strange noises began coming from inside the empty vehicle.
Crazy.
The sound was probably the door still swinging by itself. However, since the guard left ASAP, not waiting for the entity to catch up to him, we may never know what happened next. Was this actual evidence of something supernatural in the parking lot? Or was it an elaborate prank being played on the security guard? No one knows. A night security officer at an old hospital shared this concerning incident. While guarding the entrance, she started hearing unsettling voices echoing through the empty hallways. She felt an unexplained presence around her during her shift. Then, something strange happened.
Esto lo voy a dejar registrado porque Son 16 de diciembre, 11 de la noche. Bueno, mira, esta wea está pasando hace mucho rato y yo acá estoy sola, weón. No hay nadie. Concha tu padre.
Her footage shows a wheelchair moving by itself along the corridor. The officer confirmed she was alone on that floor and that all windows were closed at the time. The security footage hasn't been tampered with, according to the timestamps. However, whether this was truly paranormal activity or if there's another explanation remains unclear. In June 2021, 2 police officers received a call from a nearby cemetery about people hearing strange sounds. As they went to check what was happening, they did not expect what they would encounter. A loud, incredibly creepy sound was heard, causing both officers to run toward their car as fast as they could, without even thinking twice about venturing into the darkness to investigate. Anyone who saw this video online immediately recognized the sound as the Aztec death whistle.
This security footage caught a creepy sight. It seems to be placed in a house under construction, perhaps to see if anyone comes to steal any of the building materials. But as soon as this clip starts, we can see something coming out of the next room. It looks like the shadow of a man that is walking slowly, heading towards the next room. I am not sure whether it is the way the camera is set up, but the figure seems incredibly large, almost reaching the height of that tall door. It is truly a creepy sight. What exactly could it be? Is this some kind of a shadow ghost? Or is it just some flickering of the camera that created a creepy glitch on the screen? This hiker started recording with his phone while in the forest because he realized something might be stalking him. Although he shakes the camera a lot, perhaps due to being anxious, we can easily spot something in the distance, looking directly at him. The figure appears humanoid, but fully dressed in black, or perhaps black hair. Although the hiker managed to get out of the forest safely, he claims to have been shaken by what he saw that day and is unsure himself of what he's seen, not knowing if it was a weird person following him around or something more creepy. Many claimed that is a Sasquatch, who got a bit too interested in this particular case and decided to follow him around. But given the bad quality of the video, I'm not so sure that is the case, when it can also be all a setup. What do you think? In this video, a security guard is walking through the halls of a hospital, recording his routine patrol. The hospital corridors are quiet and seemingly ordinary. However, as he turns a corner, something unusual and unsettling occurs. A humanoid figure briefly appears from behind a corner and then, just as suddenly, vanishes into thin air. The brief appearance of this figure in the sterile clinical setting of a hospital adds to the eeriness of the encounter. Was it just another person in the hospital? Perhaps a patient or a staff member playing a prank? Or could it be something more mysterious, like a ghost, given the way it disappeared so abruptly? Considering the setting and the nature of the incident, it's tempting to lean towards a supernatural explanation. This hunter caught one of the most amazing footage of Bigfoot while he was standing on his deer stand, waiting for some hunt. But he quickly realizes that the forest is home to more than just deer, as he begins to spot a big humanoid figure stalking.
What in the world is that thing? Doesn't look like a deer.
This went on for 20 minutes, as this Bigfoot seemed to inspect the area, as if he knew something was off about this area. If we zoom in on the creature, it appears fully covered in brown hair with a big and frightening body, while at the same time moving as if he was fully confident to be in that forest. But what came after was truly terrifying. Deep howls in the forest, as if calling for someone, or threatening anyone who would dare to enter its domain. The hunter at this point was frightened enough and quickly forgot any idea of hunting deer that day.
I've never seen anything like that before in my whole life. I'm out of here.
These captivating photographs were captured by a motion detection trail camera equipped with night vision capabilities. We can immediately see an enigmatic figure, an anomaly amidst the natural backdrop of the forest. The subject of these photographs is undeniably strange. Its humanoid appearance is unmistakable, yet it lacks the conventional attire associated with humans. Instead, its entire form is enveloped in a dense covering of hair, evoking a sense of primal wilderness. Examining the creature's physique, we are drawn to its remarkably elongated arms, reminiscent of those found in monkeys or apes, which I am pretty sure are not freely roaming the USA. The creature's robust build further defies easy classification, leaving us perplexed and in search of answers. Many people have proposed that these images may capture a creature of legend, the elusive and mysterious Bigfoot. Tales of this legendary creature have persisted for generations, often described as a towering being inhabiting remote wilderness areas. And as we've seen in previous videos, there are more and more sightings of these beings. Could we finally get closer to finding the truth? In the heart of the dense forest, nestled in his cabin, a man finds himself thrust into a spine-tingling encounter. The tranquility of his surroundings is shattered by a bone-chilling sound that reaches his ears. An unmistakable growl that resonates through the trees.
For whatever reason, they're pretty close to the house this morning. Just out of sight, like usual. I gotta get to the truck to get to work. I don't really want to leave this porch.
The man listens intently. The growl, while reminiscent of a bear, carries an unusual depth that sets it apart from the familiar. It fills the air, signaling the presence of a creature that is not to be taken lightly. Whatever might be out there, the man says this creature seems to be pretty close by the sounds, but he does not seem to be fazed by that. But he says that he does not want to leave his house for work, considering what might be waiting out there. In this household, the owner installed a motion tracking camera because strange things kept happening in the house. She is familiar with the events and complains that this is not the first time strange things happened. Before the video begins, something must have happened, as she seems concerned about the cat, calling it to come to her. But we soon see that the door starts moving, as if someone is meddling with it. When she approaches the door, it is clear that no one is there. Could it be a ghostly apparition? Her cat also is aware of the uncanny presence of the unknown, and seems to be spooked. She even goes to the back of the door and talks to the ghost, as if this is all too familiar to her. She curses to whatever that's behind the door and tells it to leave the door alone. But once the woman begins petting and trying to calm down the cat, something creepier happens. The lady seems overwhelmed by these ghostly activities, as if she's experienced this over and over again. This unsettling video comes to a conclusion, but one question lingers in the minds of those who have witnessed it. What insidious forces inhabit this house? Is it a poltergeist, trying to make its presence known? One night, the mother of a daughter was notified by her camera application that motion was detected in the room. The mother, not knowing what is going on in the middle of the night, checks the monitor, only to see a scary sight. We can clearly see something running across the screen next to the kid's bed. Even the motion camera moves a bit, following the figure's movement. Soon after, the mother comes to the room and asks her child if she has a cat in her room. It becomes more peculiar when the child responds that there was no cat in the room.
Is there a cat in here? Is there a cat in here? No.
It becomes clear that surely it might be a ghost cat because the mother wrote about this footage online, saying they recently had to put down their family cat due to illness, and that might be her soul still lingering next to the child, who she had a loving relationship with. In 2017, this trail camera in East Texas Davy Crockett National Forest caught an uncanny sighting at night in a remote location. In this picture, we can see a figure of what appears to be a woman walking around alone in the forest. This is definitely a creepy sight because of the fact that it was captured on a trail camera at a time where certainly no one would be walking around alone in the wilderness. The park rangers were not able to track her, and no one was reported missing around that area. Was this truly a person we've witnessed? Could she be lost or a fugitive? Or did this trail camera catch a ghost? In the still of the night, this trail camera caught what appears to be a slender shadow running across the front yard of a house. When we slow down the recording, as the figure is running, one might assume it to be a normal human being. But as it goes past, it starts vanishing and disappears into the thin air. This footage is really strange, and what transpires is really mysterious. At a closer range, from its pale figure and almost invisible like stature, one can conclude it to be a ghostly apparition. But it could also be a glitch with the recording camera, as this type of things are known to happen with cheaper equipment, where a person's body is no longer processed by the camera, and thus it appears to vanish. A trail camera picks up an unusual sight of a creature fumbling with the camera. Only fur from the animal can be seen. The creature had come around and spotted the camera, and perhaps out of curiosity, it tries to figure what the object is. In the process, it reveals its face, and we can see it's a bear. The bear, with its large paws and inherent wilderness, inadvertently damages the camera as it forcefully rips it off, showcasing its inability to handle delicate objects. This woman heard some crows going crazy in the forest, and she began filming in case they start again. She tries to look for the crows in the sky, but she finds none. But her camera catches something else in the forest, lurking. In between the trees, she sees a figure that catches her eyes. Amongst the trees, a dark hulking image that appeared in one frame. The figure appears to be a large, hairy creature, potentially resembling the mythical Bigfoot. Descriptions of the creature vary, but it is generally depicted as a large bipedal humanoid covered in fur. What even seems scarier is when the creature lifts up its arm and seems to wave at the woman. The woman obviously freaks out, as it is indeed a frightening sight to see while walking all alone in a forest. Although the video does not show anything more, and we get a very brief sight of the creature, it still raises the question of whether she may have captured a glimpse of the legendary Sasquatch or Bigfoot.
This man installed a CCTV camera, but one night it bombarded him with alerts. What he saw in it was pure nightmare fuel. This eerie video was uploaded on TikTok by a user who had recently installed a new CCTV camera. At first, everything seemed normal. He would occasionally get notifications about movement around his house, which made sense since he lived in a wooded area. But one night, things took a terrifying turn. His camera started sending motion alerts every 20 seconds. When he checked the footage, he saw something lurking in the bushes. And if that wasn't creepy enough, this creepy figure was also seen peeking into his front door, as if searching for a way inside. People in the comments are calling this creature the Rake, and honestly, based on this footage, it sure looks like it. But even if it isn't the Rake, whatever this thing is, yeah, I'm never living near a forest. Ever. This hiker nearly had a heart attack when he saw what looked like a shadowy figure waiting and watching him from the fog. This eerie footage comes from Instagram, where a user shared the chilling moment he spotted something in the mountains. In the video, you can clearly see a shadowy figure standing in the distance, motionless, watching. It almost felt like this humanoid figure wanted something from him. Just as the hiker was about to lose his mind, he realized what was actually happening. It was a phenomenon known as the Brocken Spectre. This eerie illusion occurs when the sun shines from behind an observer who is looking down from a ridge or peak into mist or fog. The light projects the observer's own shadow into the fog, often in a distorted, ghostly shape. So in reality, this terrifying figure was just his own reflection, basically nature's way of scaring the life out of you. These two brothers were walking along a forest trail at night when their camera captured something that defies all explanation.
You can't see nothing with the naked eye. No, you can't. Whoa, did any of you just see something walk in front of the camera there, guy?
In this eerie video, recorded deep in the woods, darkness surrounds them as the cameraman desperately tries to capture something strange he just saw. Suddenly, out of nowhere, a white, smoky figure appears, only to vanish into thin air just seconds later.
You can't see nothing with the naked eye. No, you can't. Whoa, did any of you just see something walk in front of the camera there, guy?
At first glance, it looks like a humanoid figure, but I know what you're thinking. Could this just be smoke from a nearby campfire? Well, maybe, but in that exact shape and appearing for just a brief moment before completely disappearing. Yeah, something paranormal is definitely going on here. If you think losing a head means death, think again, because this creature you're about to see still moves, still plays, with its own severed head. This video has been going wild on the internet, showing a bee that seems to defy the very laws of life. Its head is literally hanging on by what looks like a single vessel, yet it's still alive, fidgeting, twitching, and moving its own head. At first, this looks like some kind of nightmarish zombie bee situation, but there's actually a scientific explanation behind it. This is a worker bee, and believe it or not, they can survive for a short time without their heads. That's because bees have a decentralized nervous system, allowing them to perform basic tasks purely through instinct. It's creepy, sure, but at the same time, it almost feels like a superpower. Imagine if humans could do that. Wait, actually, don't. This video comes from the Rocky Hills, where a camera captured something so unsettling, it's shaking the entire internet. Uploaded to YouTube by the channel The Haunting World, this footage at first seems like an ordinary scenic view of the mountains. But at the 20-second mark, something chilling happens. A shadowy humanoid figure appears on the rocks, moving up the hill before vanishing into thin air. Slowing down and zooming in, we can make out the head of the figure. And according to the comments, this might be the spirit of a long-lost farmer who supposedly died in these hills years ago. If this video is real, it's yet another eerie reminder that ghosts and spirits aren't just legends. They might be a reality. And with sightings like this, maybe it's time we start treating them as just another part of our world. These kids tried cleansing a haunted house after a YouTube tutorial. What happened next became their worst nightmare.
My back's burning.
Is it really?
My back's
burning. Oh my God. You're kidding, right? You're kidding.
This video, originally uploaded as a Facebook reel, shows a group of kids attempting a house cleansing ritual. But things took a terrifying turn. As one of them was using smoke to purify the house, he suddenly felt an intense burning sensation on his back. When they lifted his shirt, what they saw left everyone horrified. Fresh, deep scratch marks shaped like a handprint.
My back's burning.
Is it really?
My back's burning.
Oh my God. You're kidding, right? You're kidding.
Some might argue that the video is fake, but the kid's genuine reaction tells a different story. His pure shock and the pain in his voice suggests that whatever happened was very real. I bet after this, that kid won't be following random YouTube tutorials again, even if it's just for his homework. This guy was casually recording the view of a medieval castle until he saw something that froze him in place.
Andriana! Andriana!
This eerie footage comes from Percussion Castle in Ukraine, where a tourist was admiring and filming the castle's historic architecture. But as he panned the camera view across the windows, he suddenly noticed something strange. Right there, in one of the windows, a figure materialized out of nowhere. Shocked, he quickly called his girlfriend over to see it, but just as she looked, the figure vanished into thin air.
Нифига себе. Адриана! Adriana!
Percussion Castle has long been rumored to be one of the most haunted locations in Ukraine, and what we just saw might be the chilling proof. We needed to cross it off our travel bucket list. For good. Sometimes you see things on the internet that make you pray they're fake, and this video is one of them. This unsettling footage comes from TikTok and has left the entire internet shaken. In the video, we see a bizarre figure lurking behind the bushes, almost as if it's watching, waiting. But as the camera zooms in, we get a horrifyingly clear look at its face, twisted, unnatural, with eerie glowing eyes and horns protruding from its head. I don't know about you, but this screams demonic to me. If I were the person recording, I wouldn't be zooming in. I'd be running for my life and never looking back. Have you ever heard of the elevator ghost? Well, after watching this video, you might think twice before stepping into an elevator again. This eerie footage comes from an elevator security camera showing what seems like an ordinary moment. A man, dressed like a nurse, exits the elevator, but just as he leaves, something else appears. A dark, shadowy orb manifests out of nowhere, hovering and moving around inside the sealed elevator. It drifts ominously, stopping near the walls like it's observing something, before vanishing into thin air. This chilling footage is a reminder. These entities can appear anywhere, even in the most ordinary places. So, next time you step into an elevator, maybe leave a little extra space. You never know who or what might be riding with you.
So this is the dead whistle.
This whistle, which was used during World War II, raises a chilling question. Who was blowing it in the middle of the night? At a local cemetery in Georgia, a man named Josh works as a security guard. However, alongside his duties in the cemetery, he encounters paranormal events that are hard to explain. Josh opened a TikTok page and started documenting these chilling experiences. Not one, not two, but multiple encounters that send cold chills down the spine. His first documented paranormal experience occurred one night when he went on patrol to perform a routine check at the cemetery. As he was driving in, he had his first strange encounter of the night.
What the hell? Hey, kid! Kid! Fuck that! I don't know where he went.
Standing right in front of his car was a young child. The child seemed to be waiting for Josh because as soon as he got closer, the child started walking forward, prompting Josh to follow him into the unknown. However, something even more sinister was yet to come.
This kid fucking running from me. Kid! Holy God. Where the hell he went?
The child was gone, nowhere to be found. Despite Josh calling out and following him, the child refused to turn around or show his face. The sudden disappearance sent chills down Josh's spine, but that didn't stop him from doing his job that night. However, the encounter was just the beginning of the paranormal events Josh would experience.
So I'll be doing an escort. Right now I'm just...
Even though Josh didn't notice it at the time, lurking in the dark was a figure that appeared to be the child, or something even more sinister.
So I'll be doing an escort. Right now I'm just...
Josh didn't see it because he was looking the other way when his flashlight briefly illuminated the figure. However, that was the last paranormal event of the night. Nothing else unusual happened, but more eerie encounters were still ahead. While on patrol another night at a chapel, Josh equipped himself with a taser in addition to his flashlight. Soon, bizarre things started happening again.
Okay, I've got my taser out now, y'all, just to be aware. Fucking Jesus Christ.
From the dark, he suddenly hears a female voice call out his name. He went to the chapel based on a report of a woman screaming inside, but the sudden call of his name sent him running out of the chapel, sweat filling his body. Days later, Josh went to the cemetery after he got a call from his younger co-worker.
I was gonna come by and check on him, and I can't get him to answer the phone.
Fearing that his previous haunts might have taken a toll on his co-worker, Josh set out to find him. However, his co-worker was nowhere to be found. A few days later, on his day off, Josh went to the cemetery to secure the place after getting reports of vandalism. He could never have imagined that a simple attempt to secure the building would escalate into something terrifying, even in broad daylight.
Basically just securing all this stuff right now. Just making sure there's nobody in here. Anybody in here? Hello?
Was that communication with a ghost? Or was it the same kid from the past experiences? Josh couldn't find an answer to the question probing his mind. But Josh's coworker didn't have the same courage. Overwhelmed by the numerous haunting experiences, he quit his job at the cemetery.
So what is up, you guys? So my security officer that I'm supposed to have here tonight, he came in and turned everything in today. He quit.
With everyone quitting, Josh was still there. And soon, things just got weirder as he started hearing banging sounds in the cemetery. Bravely, he decided to check out what was making the sound. But something sinister was waiting for him.
So I'm actually hearing something banging on the door. I'm hoping I'm going to catch this son of a bitch.
And again, Josh misses it. Standing to his right was a human figure that he didn't see. Oblivious to the figure, Josh walked right past it and entered the hallway.
I don't know how the hell they keep opening these. Hello?
This time, the hidden being was not subtle. The voices and the footsteps were louder. There were even sounds of objects dropping to the floor. Despite Josh bravely calling out to whoever or whatever it was to show itself, the unknown figure remained hidden. After getting no response from whoever was inside the building, he decided to leave. However, on his way out, he saw something that sent him frantically running in fear.
The lights are flickering on and off. Hang on a second, guys. I'm really not sure what's going on here. Nope. Yeah, I'm fucking done. This is why my security officer fucking quit. Just so y'all can be witness here, I'm checking all this shit. I'm getting the hell out of here. This is my day off.
A sudden scream came from inside the chapel. making Josh run for his life. The flickering lights added to the fear because there were no light switches inside the chapel that could make him assume it was someone pulling a prank. It became clear to Josh why his co-worker quit working at the cemetery. There were too many spooky things happening that were unexplainable. On another occasion, Josh visited the chapel again, but things were even spookier than the last time.
Nope, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Fucking done with this shit, man. Nope. Hell to the fuck no.
Josh ran outside the chapel, never to return again. He made sure he never visited the chapel again.
A security camera captures a peculiar occurrence in a backyard in Weslaco, Texas. In the dead of the night, when it is devoid of any activities, a small girl is seen walking hurriedly from the back of a storehouse across to the other end. One can easily wonder what a young girl could be doing walking casually in the middle of the night. The small girl seems to be in a white dress and seems to be all alone. The owner claims there isn't any young girl in their house or living in their vicinity, hence why he thought this site is so creepy. At a closer range, from its pale figure and almost invisible like stature, one can conclude it to be a ghostly apparition. We also have a continuation, as the owner, baffled by what he saw, went on to investigate the surrounding area of his backyard. The area is scary and seems to be empty, not one trace of a person having been there. The man goes to the fence of the yard and records the eerie darkness, but nothing out of ordinary can be seen. So what exactly did the camera catch? Was it a glitch with the recording, or did it really catch a glimpse of the immaterial? In the continued search for the Bigfoot, a man catches a glimpse of a thrilling moment. A figure can be seen stalking around. The video was perfectly captured in the right moment, where the large creature can be seen as if playing peekaboo with the viewers. The man in the background filming is captivated and asks his counterpart if sees what he's seeing, whom he's also aware of the happenings.
Do you see that? Do you see that? I'm afraid.
The creature also seems to be aware of being watched, as it seems to be directly facing them.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
The unknown figure casually wanders around, conscious of being watched. When it stretches its arms, the limbs are really long and resembles those of a Bigfoot. The creature can easily be mistaken for an ape, but surely it's too big for the ape category, considering the fact it is bipedal.
Apparently, someone was randomly flying their drone in the neighborhood, trying to capture the pretty scene around it. However, what they came across was something they were not expecting at all. Recorded in a park in the USA, this video captured a weird creature wandering around. At first, it looked like just a man, but when the camera zoomed in a bit, it became clear that it was not a human being. With a skin covered with hair and a physique like that, the creature was just something else. When the clip was uploaded on the internet, people were quick to claim that it was Bigfoot. By the looks of it, the creature does look exactly like what a Bigfoot would. So does that mean that the famous Bigfoots are real and lurking around us without us knowing? Where it can be true, there is always a chance that it was a man with a costume on or something. For more interesting footage, check this out.